Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at the C-More EA9 HMI series panel data logging. Now, detailed information contained in the video can be found at accautomation.ca. A link has been put in the description below. If you have not watched the other videos yet, there will be links in the description below that will start you at video 1. There will be links to the rest of the videos in the series as well. So up on my screen, I have my C-More programming software, and we are looking at a new page that we just created, which was data logging, page number 16. And what we did was we went and created that page. We put our common screen indications on the bottom here. And then what we did was we went back to where we did our graphing and meter graphing, which is right here on page 5, and we copied this over to our new screen. So we just right clicked, hit copy, and then when we went over to our new screen, we would just right click again and we'd hit paste, and then we can size this the way we wanted to. So this is actually our line trend graph that we did prior. Now if we were to look at this line trend graph, if we double click on it, what you will see is that we have our pens, and previously we had MHR 500, 501, and 502 representing WX0, 1, and 2 like we had before. But we've added another one called MHR 510, and this is log bits and words. So we can also log our bits and words in our unit as well. So in order to do that, what we do is we'll have a little bit of PLC programming as well. So that is what we did there. Then under the option tag, we've actually now hit save log data, and it saved log data line trend graph 1 to a USB. So we've selected USB. You can see you can have some internal or your SD1, SD2, or USB on this particular model that I have now, which is the T10CL. So, and then you can see that we can note log data can be transferred by using the Event Manager database. So what we'll do is we're going to save the log data on our USB stick that we have connected to our EA9. So that's all of our settings there. So we'll just hit OK. Or we can't cancel all that because we have them all set. Then what I've done is I've added 2 lights, indication lights. So let's look at the first one. And on the first one, on my indicator light, you will see that my tag name for this is System USB Ready to Use. So that will be on when everything's ready to write to my USB stick. So we'll say OK. Then we'll look at our USB write indicator light, and it's a system bit USB write status. So what it will do is, as it's writing into the USB, this light will light up and actually show you that yes, we're writing something into that unit. So let's cancel that. And then we have a USB reject. And on the USB reject, it's a push button that we've programmed. And you see here, it's a system tag, it's USB reject. We set it for momentarily on. So when that is on, it will actually stop the writing to the USB drive so that we can remove it and move it somewhere else, then plug it back in. Now when we remove it, all of our data logging is actually stopped at that point. So cancel that one. So that is our screen that we're actually programming. Now another thing that we want to look at is if we go under setup and then into our panel manager, and under our panel manager what you'll see is our log data information here, and we actually are going to select or keep selected the add header row into log field or log file. What that will do is add a header row in order to label what all the different columns is or are when we are looking at our log data in our USB stick. Just interesting note, we can also alarm save to our different memory areas. We can also alarm save our messages, or we can capture our screen images to different data memories in our EA9. So that is all of our settings. And what we can do is we can look at our physical hardware, and we'll just call this up. So here's my physical hardware. This is my T10 CL, and this is our existing program that we've been using. And this is my USB connector with my USB stick connected, and it's connected to the back end of the T10 CL, just like we did with our barcode scanner. So we have that all connected, everything looks good, and what we'll do is we'll transfer this program down. So let's send this program, and we're going to send it to the through Ethernet. So let's just hit transfer, and it's transferring that file down. So our transfer is now complete. We'll hit OK and close. And what you'll see is that no longer, like, just the data trend or line trend graph we can use for data logging, as well as the PID faceplate trend. So the two different objects that we can use to get values into that USB data log file. So once that's transferred, what we'll do is now look at our PLC program. And as always, we're doing our Do More Designer. This version is 2.6.2, which is the latest version. And I've added an existing rung, which is our data logging, which is always on. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all of my X0 to X15 and put it into MHR 510, which is the log parameter that we did on our EA9. So we'll also log those bits. And up here in my data view, you can see my trend pen 1, 2, and 3, and also MHR 510, which is our bits that we can monitor. So if we call up our simulator, which is right here, and we'll turn on the first 4 bits, what we will see, if we go back at the software, is the value 15. And if we want to look at our binary on that, there's our binary, which represents our first 4 bits that are on. So that's how this instruction is actually working within our controller. So let's call that up. We'll move that down a little bit so we can see our values here. The first 3 are pens, and then this is our units or our bits that we're monitoring as well. So going back to our screen, we'll select our screen, we'll select our data logging, and under data logging we can see here that we have our stop, clear. There's our USB is on, so we know that we're connected, just like this. And it will write when the buffer gets full, and you'll see it flash, and we'll write into that USB stick. We also have the reject if we want to reject this USB and pull it out and connect it to a computer. So let's just put some values onto our screen, and you can see now that we're actually showing the values. And what you'll see is that when we looked at doing our bits, I've actually created a dotted line, and we kept that in actually in white on the background, so it really won't show on our graph here that we're logging those bits. So let's just turn off a couple of the bits. There we go. And we'll keep that one on. We can change these values a little bit more. and we'll let that continuously run. So now, from previously, we looked at the web server. So let's call up our browser, and we should be able to see the log file that we've been creating as we're running this program. So we type in the address of our EA9, and when we do, we are asked for our password that we set last time, ACC automation, and our password ACCA. We sign in. So here is our web server. If we look at file list, you can see that we have our file list, and we can now call up our trend graph, and here it is right here. So if we look down to the latest values, you can see here, this is where we turned them all on. We started moving some data into those values. And again, we have our time and date and our values for our 3 pens, and then our bit locations or bit numbers. So remember, these numbers represent the bit location that we have in our controller. And you see here's my last one right here. And if we just hit refresh, keep in mind this is 7/16/48. Remember, we graph these every second. And now we've changed that data. So every time we hit refresh on our browser, it goes back, it looks at the refresh, and then we can actually look at more data each time. If we also want, by the way, you can see our headers, which are right along the top here. And if we wanted to, we could take individual, we can just hit copy. We can then go into any other Windows program such as Excel, and we can actually paste that data into it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button below. If you have any questions about the video, please comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. If you want any more information about us, or you want our free ebooks on numbering systems or robust data logging, please click on the link in the description below to get it. A new video is put out every Monday, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get more videos like this in the future. Remember to click the bell beside your subscription to actually receive those notifications. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.